Hey guys, Lawrence Burchett with Reality's Edge. So today I think we're going to do a little bit of UFOs. And the reason we're going to talk about the UFOs a little bit is because for about the last week and a half or so, the so-called Wilson-Davis documents or Davis-Wilson documents that were released about two and a half years ago, or they became public. They weren't really released, but they did become public. They have kind of come back into the forefront again. Now let's go back to May, back when the public hearings were held in Congress from the talking about the UFO subject or UAP subject, whatever you want to call it. The Davis-Wilson documents were actually brought up then, and of course, it was said we don't know nothing about it, but they were actually entered into onto the record to do with the talk. And then here, about a week or so ago, week and a half ago, there were notes that were made during this meeting by a fellow by the name of Oke Shannon, another physicist, and that basically confirmed that this interview did take place between Eric Davis and Admiral Tom Wilson. At the time in 2002, Admiral Wilson was like an advisor to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he was really upset as to the fact that he did not have clearance to see certain things that he felt, and he probably should have legally had the right to see. And after 2 years ago, when the documents became part of the public domain, and it's kind of iffy as to how that happened. I do believe that they were originally released on Reddit, and that's kind of how it started going around. And the story that I've gotten is one of NASA's astronauts, Edgar Mitchell. When he passed away, there was somebody had asked to be able to have some of his personal files and documents, and ask his wife, and she give the go-ahead for him to, take his personal files and documents. And this document, the Wilson-Davis document, was actually in there. And then I believe Grant Cameron, famed ufologist and probably one of the greatest researchers of this age as far as ufology is concerned, he ended up with some of it. Now, according to him, he never read it, and if he says he never actually read it, I would believe him. But then, it got passed around. Some other people ended up with it. And I don't believe that Grant Cameron was the one that led to all this. I believe other people ended up with it as well. And then it ended up leaked. Now, the reason that, Admiral Wilson was, he was upset because, there were what's called special access programs or unacknowledged special access programs, that those are typically ran by contractors, and the U.S. government has no oversight on those. If it's run by U.S. contractors or just contractors in general, the United States government does not actually have rights to say what is and what ain't when it comes to those. And that really kind of pissed him off, I guess, and so he spoke with Eric Davis. Now, I do not believe that he expected that this would ever get out. Matter of fact, when everything come out back in 2020, he actually denied it. He denied ever having this conversation. He denied ever saying the things that were in these documents. Now, some of the things that was in the documents that he did speak of was things similar to, or things like back engineered alien tech, basically, back engineered vehicles that were, that we have now, that were back engineered from like crashed spacecraft and stuff like that. He also spoke of things that were not of this world, things that were not made by man or made by men's hands. Now, as to what he actually knew, he did speak of certain people that, and I'm not going to get into that because that's not my story to tell. If you want to know, look up the Davis-Wilson or the Wilson-Davis documents and read it. I haven't actually personally have not read the documents. I've just heard snippets of it, stuff that has come, been talked about by other people. But anyway, so here about a week and a half ago, and this is after Admiral Wilson, got a mosquito buzzing me here. After Admiral Wilson has said that it didn't actually happen, here about a week and a half ago or so, Oke Shannon, another physicist that he did a lot of work for the U.S. government in different programs, he come out and he admitted to being there, and some of his notes from that same meeting, that same interview that Eric Davis did with Admiral Thomas Wilson, there was a lot of the notes that he took that lined up with Eric Davis's notes in the interview that he did. So, that's put these the Wilson-Davis documents right back up there at the top. And now, a lot of it is a lot of the reason why this is such a big deal is because during the public hearings back in the spring, late spring, early summer, it was spoke of immunity for people that come out and actually bring the subject up. And not just, obviously people, if somebody's got signed NDAs and there's stuff that is top secret, they're obviously not going to be, there's not going to be immunity if they've signed NDAs about it. But like full-on whistleblowers, they should have immunity from being, losing their jobs, losing their pensions, and stuff like that. So if this, and it sounds like that's going to, be a possibility. So that right there, kind of gives hope that, Admiral Wilson may be able to go ahead and come out and actually say, yes, I did have this discussion with Dr. Eric Davis, and be safe in doing so, because, I'm sure being a vice admiral, he's probably worried about losing his pension. I would be. He had an illustrious career as an admiral in the Navy, and, that pension, that's his livelihood. So, is he possibly worried about losing his pension? I would say yes. And there needs to be immunity for people that come out. So, airline pilots, they need that immunity as well. And I think that this, this might just open up not only these documents, but I think it's going to also give hope for the rest of the, airline pilots, service members, naval, fighter pilots and stuff that have seen things, so that they can come out, be honest. And, a lot of them, when they see stuff, they just like, it eats them up inside. So they have to tell that it eats them up inside to the point where they know that they can't talk, because if they talk, they're going to get in trouble. They're going to lose their jobs, lose their careers, or whatever. And if they can get this immunity so that they don't have to worry about that, maybe, they can help themselves in a mental capacity by getting it off their chest. Because, sometimes talking about stuff will help. Get it off your chest, be done with it. My thoughts on it is absolutely I believe the Davis, doggone mosquitoes, the Wilson-Davis document, I believe it is very, very legitimate. Matter of fact, to me it, from the sounds of it, it is more legit than even the MJ-12 documents that were dropped. Eric Davis is known to be a very honorable man. And, I can't see him making up just some poppycock story just to further his career, especially when we know that this UFO topic does not help anybody's careers, never has and never will. But anyway, guys, drop me a line, drop me a comment or an email. Let me know what you think about it. If you like today's video, give us a thumbs up. I'd like to hear from you. Also, doggone mosquitoes. It is October. October is Halloween season. I'd like some stories. Hit me up in my email. I'll have it posted at the end of the video here. It'll also be posted in the description. I don't know how to make it clickable yet. I'm still working on that. But, if need be, write it down and send me some stories let me look here at the calendar. I'm going to make sure, but I believe that the 31st is a Monday, and I do my videos on Mondays. So what I would like to do is on Halloween night, I would absolutely love to have a video where I tell some stories. And I would like these to be you guys' stories. The best videos or the best stories, try to keep them in the 5 to 10 minute range. If it's a true story, if it's something that actually happened to you, let me know. If it's not a true story, let me know that too. I would like to have one fiction and one non-fiction. And I will read the 2 best non-fiction stories. Plus, I have one that I will read as well that I myself have written. It is a fictional story, and we'll just go from there. But yeah, the 2 best non-fiction and best fiction, they will be read on October 31st. So, if you like today's video, give us the thumbs up. Ring the bell to get notified when we put a new video out. And then, subscribe if you haven't. Share this with your friends and family. Anybody that's interested in the topics we do. But hey, I love you guys. And do me a favor. Love yourselves. Love each other. Peace out.